Welcome to the online classes from Dhaka Secondary School, North Karachi campus. Assalamu alaikum students of class 6 in the online class of social studies. We are studying our chapter number 8, farming problems in Pakistan, and I'm your teacher Miss Usma. Topics of the day are water, fertilizers, and salinity. Water. Proper distribution of water for farming has always been a problem. As the output of farms increases, so the need for more water becomes very important. Although Pakistan has a good irrigation network, the irrigation from the rivers is at its limit. The government has many schemes for improved water supplies from tube wells, but demand will always be more than supply. Better distribution of water as required by the farmers will help to improve crops. The canals has also to be maintained properly by regular cleaning, distilling mean removing soil and silt and preventing leakage. Pakistan is naturally by geographical whim a dry land with about two-thirds of the world's average precipitation. Some of Pakistan's most important crops, cotton and sugar, are greedy for water and need steady and plentiful supplies to produce good crops. The traditional flooding irrigation from the rivers is at its maximum, and in the mountains in the north, more snow is melting each year than what falls. Eventually, this supply will run out, though it will last for a few more centuries yet. Tube wells for deep water supplies are an answer, and that is why the government is pursuing the policy of widespread electrification. Concerning the bed and sides of the irrigation canals to prevent seepage into the soil is also a priority. Water and irrigation facilities. Water is a basic need for cultivation. All life on earth needs water to survive and grow. In Pakistan, the problem is an inadequate and unequal distribution of rain. The industry where plants in the Punjab receives rain at the end of the summer monsoon and then some rain during the winter. Other regions require irrigation facilities. Pakistan inherited a very efficient canal irrigation system laid by the British before independence. However, with population growth, there is greater need for water for domestic use, agriculture industry, and power generation, but the facilities have not been increased proportionally. There is a need for more dams and reserves and better and fair distribution of water. Existing canals and barrages need to properly maintained by desilting of dams and barrages so that their capacity is not reduced and lining of canals so that water does not seep into the soil. Fertilizers are substances supplied to the crops to increase their productivity. These are used by the farmers daily to increase the crop's yield. The fertilizers contain the essential nutrients required by the plants, including nitrogen, potassium, and phosphorus. In the past, when there were fewer people and demand for crops and less, the manure for animals was usually enough to keep the field fertile. Climatic conditions and continuous farming have reduced the natural fertility of the soil, so artificial fertilizers are needed for better crops. Pakistan is fortunate in having some of the raw material for these such as limestone and natural gas, but there still has to be a huge import of fertilizer. Fertilizers, the land is generally not particularly fertile apart from a few places, and with the expensive cropping and constantly increasing demands for more and more output, fertilizers have to be employed heavily. Apart from the import, there is also a local manufacture as Pakistan has some of the main raw material required. Pesticides are more difficult to manufacture locally and import figures have risen from an average of rupees 12.5 billion from 1996 to 2003-4, rupees 30 billion from 2004-5 to the present time. The higher import figures are also due to falling exchange rate of the rupees versus US dollar. A problem a farmer has to face is value for value. Will the use of, say, rupees 10,000 worth of pesticides or fertilizers give him more or less than rupees 10,000 worth of extra crop? Cotton, for example, loses about 25% of the crops through pests. Salinity. Continuous cultivation and irrigation results in salinity because when the water evaporates, salts present in the soil are left on the surface. This makes the land unfit for further cultivation. The problem can be solved by washing the soil with fresh water from tube wells or use of special chemicals. Both the methods are expensive as Pakistan is not a water-rich country and poor farmers cannot afford the chemical treatment. One third of our farmland is affected by salinity and third of this is damaged so badly that it has returned into deserts. These lands are damaged by salinity. All natural water has some salt in it, but the amount is so small that we cannot taste it. When irrigation water covers the field, however, the hot sun evaporates much of it, and the salt in the soil is so strong that plants will not grow on it. 20% of Pakistan's farmland is affected by salt, 8% so badly that it becomes a desert unless treated. Questions are in front of you. Thank you so much.